Welcome, and thank you for your interest in the results of the annual Fairfax County Youth Survey for the 2024-2025 school year. The Fairfax County Youth Survey is comprehensive and covers many topics. Some examples are substance use, mental health, bullying, nutrition, physical activity, and sexual health. The survey is anonymous. No identifying information for the student is stored with the results, and it's voluntary. Students are instructed that they may decline to answer any of the questions on the survey or may completely opt out of taking the survey. Students are asked questions about their behaviors, experiences, and the risk and protective factors in their lives. This survey provides data to county, school, and community-based organizations to assess youth strengths and needs, develop programs and services, monitor trends, measure community indicators, and guide countywide planning of prevention efforts. The 2024 Fairfax County Youth Survey was completed by 44,655 Fairfax County Public School students in grades 6, 8, 10, and 12, representing approximately 76% of enrolled students in those grades. Fairfax County Youth Survey was administered electronically in a school classroom setting. Sixth grade students take a shortened, modified survey. In addition to English, the online survey was administered in 7 languages, including Arabic, Chinese, Farsi, Korean, Spanish, Urdu, and Vietnamese. More detailed information on the survey administration can be found in the Fairfax County Youth Survey webpage. Let's look at the survey results for alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. The Fairfax County Youth Survey asks students if they used alcohol, tobacco, and/or other drugs in the past month. In 2024, 90% of 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students reported that they did not use any substances in the past month. 95% of the students reported no use of alcohol, and 92% reported no use of other substances. Overall, the results suggest that the percentage of students in Fairfax County reporting the use of substances has declined over the past 15 years. Fairfax County youth also reported lower rates of use than those reported nationally for most substances assessed on the survey, including alcohol, vaping, marijuana, and cigarettes. While the prevalence of substance use remained low, Fairfax youth reported different rates by demographics. For example, substance use is much more prevalent among students in higher grade levels. Over 15% of 12th graders used alcohol and/or other substances in the past month, compared to 7% of 8th graders and 8% of 10th graders. The rates for substance use also differed by race and ethnicity. Approximately 13% of white students reported using alcohol and/or other substances in the past month, followed by students of other multiple races at 11% and Hispanic students at 10%. 8% of Black students and 6% of Asian students reported substance use. On the other hand, there was no significant difference between male and female students. Alcohol was the most commonly used substance among Fairfax County 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students. About 16% of students reported they used alcohol at least once in their lifetime. About 5% of students reported drinking alcohol in the past month. The second most used substance among youth was vape. About 8% of the students reported vaping at least once in their lifetime, and 3% reported vaping in the past month. Marijuana was next on the list. Approximately 6% of the survey respondents reported using marijuana in their lifetime, and 2% reported using marijuana in the past month. Fairfax County Youth Survey data show a young person who uses alcohol, tobacco, and other substances is more likely to engage in other risk behaviors. Students who report using alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs in the past month are more likely to report feeling sad or hopeless, considering attempting suicide, being bullied by someone, attempting suicide, bullying someone, and carrying a weapon to school than students who had not used alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs. The youth survey also asked students about their mental health. Here are the findings from this year's youth survey. In 2024, 15% of sixth grade students reported feeling stress all or most of the time in the past month, and 27% reported feeling sad or hopeless for 2 or more weeks in the past year. Among 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students, 17% reported they felt stressed all or most of the time in the past month. 22% said they felt sad or hopeless every day for 2 or more weeks in a row in the past year. 7% said they had considered suicide, while 3% reported attempting suicide in the past year. Looking at mental health trends from 2017 to 2024, this year's data show continued improvements in students' mental health since 2021, when mental health concerns peaked during the COVID-19 pandemic. Compared to 2021, the share of those who felt stressed most or all of the time declined by 13 percentage points, while the share of students who felt sad or hopeless for 2 or more weeks in a row declined by 16 percentage points. Rates of considering and attempting suicide were cut by more than half. The 2024 rates were also the lowest since 2017. The rates of reporting mental health concerns differed by gender. According to the survey, female students were more likely to report mental health concerns than male students, and the gap was bigger among sixth grade students. In 2024, around 1 in 3 sixth grade female students reported feeling sad or hopeless, compared to 1 in 5 male students. Among 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students, 26% of female students reported feelings of sadness or hopelessness, compared to 16% of male students. Meanwhile, some racial or ethnic groups are more vulnerable than others. Hispanic students were most likely to report feeling sad or hopeless in the past year. 36% of sixth grade students and 26% of 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students reported feeling this way. Among sixth grade students, Black and students of other or multiple races also reported higher rates of feeling sad or hopeless than Asian or white students. This was also the case among older students, although the differences in rates were less pronounced. The next set of slides summarizes the findings on physical, health-related behaviors. In 2024, about half of sixth graders and 39% of 8th, 10th, and 12th graders reported being physically active for at least an hour for 5 or more days in the past week. 18% of sixth graders and 12% of older students reported they watched TV for 3 or more hours on a school day. 34% of sixth graders and 40% of older students reported playing video games or using electronic devices for non-academic purposes for 3 or more hours a day. Male and female students showed differences in certain physical health-related behaviors. Among 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students, female students were less likely to report being physically active for 5 or more days per week and getting enough sleep at night than male students. 1 in 3 female students reported being physically active, while almost half of male students reported the behavior. About 30% of female students reported getting 8 or more hours of sleep, compared to 38% of male students. Meanwhile, the rates of watching TV for 3 or more hours a day and using electronic devices for non-academic purposes were similar between male and female students. The rates also varied by racial and ethnic groups. While half of white students and 44% of students of other or multiple races reported engaging in physical activity on 5 or more days per week, 28% of Hispanic students reported this behavior, followed by 33% of Black students and 35% of Asian students. Black students reported the highest rate of watching TV for 3 or more hours a day at 19%, compared to 14% of Hispanic students and those of other or multiple races. Only 9% of white students and 8% of Asian students reported this behavior. In terms of non-academic computer or electronic device use, Black students reported the highest rate at 45%, closely followed by Hispanic students at 44%. Regarding sleep, 37% of white students reported getting 8 or more hours per night, compared to 29% of Asian students. Let's turn to bullying and aggressive behavior. Fairfax County students were asked their experiences of bullying or having been bullied on school property, cyberbullying, or having been cyberbullied by a fellow student in their school, and whether they said or had received derogatory comments about their race or culture. Across all domains, sixth graders reported higher rates of experiencing these behaviors than older students. For instance, 25% of sixth graders reported having been bullied on school property in the past year, compared to 10% of 8th, 10th, and 12th graders. 13% of sixth grade students reported having been cyberbullied in the past year, compared to only 3% of older students. 44% of sixth grade students reported receiving derogatory comments on their race or culture, compared to 33% of older students. The youth survey includes a series of questions about aggressive behaviors. Among 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students, 16% reported being bullied, taunted, or ridiculed by a parent or another adult at home in the past year. Additionally, 5% reported being physically hurt by a parent or adult during that time. 13% said they had a partner who always wanted to know their whereabouts, and 9% reported experiencing sexual harassment in the past year. 4% reported carrying a weapon in the past month. Among sixth graders, 22% reported being bullied by a parent or adult in the past year, and 12% reported being physically hurt by a parent or adult. Furthermore, 8% reported carrying a weapon in the past month. These rates are notably higher than those reported by older students. The youth survey also assesses assets or protective factors that promote well-being and positive development in youth and help them avoid risk behaviors. Here are the findings from this year's survey on protective factors. The survey assesses the assets or protective factors in the domains of school, community, family, and individual. School assets include teachers notice when students do a good job, opportunity to talk to a teacher one-on-one, feel safe at school, school communicates with parents when the student does well. Community assets include availability of extracurricular activities, adults disapprove of marijuana use, adults in community to talk to, neighbors notice when youth do a good job. Family assets include parents available to help, parents know whereabouts, youth's input in family decisions. Family members are respectful of each other, parents disapprove of marijuana use. Individual assets include regular participation in extracurricular activities, volunteer regularly, follow rules, think through possible results before making a decision, accept responsibility for actions and mistakes, do their best, even for jobs they dislike. A majority of Fairfax County students reported at least one protective factor in all domains. For example, 88% reported they could ask their parents for help, and 84% reported they feel safe at school. 78% reported they accept responsibility for their actions, and 47% reported they have an adult to talk to in their neighborhood. Among the assets we've examined, the survey emphasizes 6 protective factors, including accepting responsibility for one's actions, performing community service, having community adults to talk to, participating in extracurricular activities, having teachers recognize good work, having parents available for help. Data from the Fairfax County Youth Survey show how having just 3 of these 6 assets provides students with tools to manage stress, make better choices, and develop healthy habits. Through the Fairfax County Youth Survey, we can see that generally, the more assets youth have, the less likely they are to engage in risk behaviors. Whether it's sexual activity, vape use, alcohol use, marijuana use, carrying a weapon, bullying someone, binge drinking, or gang involvement. The more assets youth have, the lower their risk. Assets in a combination of both individual characteristics as well as environmental factors facilitate and foster resiliency in youth. What can you do as a caregiver, educator, or adult in the community? The data show us that when we give our youth opportunities to be involved, offer supportive relationships, and recognize their good work and accomplishments, we give them assets to help them make good decisions and become resilient to risk behaviors. Above all else, It is vital that youth have at least one caring, trusted, and supportive adult relationship in building resiliency. Adults can decide to be the one, whether it be from the family, schools, or community. Adults should ask youth how they are doing in school as well as life in general. By listening and providing support, especially when things aren't going well, youth will feel like they are cared for and know what they do matters. When youth are doing well, providing praise and specific feedback is better than just saying, "Good job." In addition, giving youth opportunities for meaningful participation and pro-social bonding helps build a feeling of community. Helping youth set goals that reflect positive thinking and a belief that they can be successful is important to increase performance, achievement, and well-being. Finally, setting clear and consistent boundaries provides youth with explicit rules on the expectations of behavior. Fairfax County youth who reported their families had clear rules, especially about alcohol and drug use, also reported that they were less likely to engage in risk behaviors. As a community, we can work together to address attitudes about substance use. Participate in the Community Services Board's SAMHSA Talk They Hear You campaign to educate parents on discussing alcohol use with their teens, and download the SAMHSA Talk They Hear You app. The URL is bit.ly/csb-tthy. FCPS provides information on substance use, addiction, and treatment. For more information, visit bit.ly/substance use prevention FCPS. Parents can set and enforce consistent expectations and rules about drinking and drug use with their teens. Parents should ensure teens can't access alcohol without their knowledge. Unmonitored alcohol can be a temptation. When in doubt, lock it up. Advise teens to only take pills prescribed by their doctor from a licensed pharmacy. They should never share medication or buy pills from social media, on the street, or unlicensed pharmacies. Store and dispose of prescription medicines in a safe and secure manner. More information on drug disposal can be found on fairfaxcounty.gov/health/drug-disposal. Connect youth with professional help for substance use concerns. Visit fairfaxcounty.gov/community services board for more information. Finally, be a mentor for youth. Connect with a young person to provide encouragement to reach their potential. You can also learn more about the Fairfax County Public Schools mentoring program, which offers a range of opportunities to make a positive impact in a young person's life. For more information, visit bit.ly/beamentorfcps. We can increase awareness of the risk factors and warning signs of mental health concerns. Consider becoming certified in mental health first aid, available through the Fairfax Falls Church Community Services Board. Visit bit.ly/CSB Mental Health and bit.ly/Fairfax MHFA to learn more. Talk with a qualified therapist, your child's school counselor, psychologist, or social worker. All schools have at least one counselor, psychologist, and social worker. These school-based mental health professionals are available to support you and your child. To speak to one of these professionals, call your school and ask to be connected to the counselor, psychologist, or social worker. You can learn to spot signs and how to respond to youth who may be demonstrating warning signs of mental health challenges or who are in crisis by watching FCPS's suicide prevention video. Visit bit.ly/suicidepreventfcps. We can also ensure the people we care about know about HopeLink, where they can call or text to 988 for immediate help and access to mental health resources. They can also go to HopeLink's Lifeline chat, 988lifeline.org/chat. HopeLink is available all year long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We must also address bullying and harassment before and when it occurs. Visit the FCPS Bullying Prevention and Intervention page. The URL is bit.ly/bullyingpreventionfcps. Tips and resources on this important topic are also available on stopbullying.gov. You can also download the No Bullying app for conversation starters with youth and strategies to prevent bullying for various age groups among children and teens. Information about cyberbullying and digital literacy is available on the FCPS Digital Citizen Tips for Families page. Please visit bit.ly/InternetSafeFCPS. Parents, caregivers, and the community should support youth in improving their nutrition and physical activity habits. As a start, limit screen time and encourage outdoor play and physical activity. You can also use MyPlate as a guide for meal planning and limiting processed foods. Visit myplate.gov for more information. To learn more about the Fairfax County Youth Survey, take a deeper dive of the data through the interactive Data Explorer, or view related publications, visit fairfaxcounty.gov/youthsurvey. On this webpage, there is a link to 3 to Succeed, where you can learn about simple things you and other adults can do to help kids succeed. The URL is bit.ly/3to-succeed. Access the Prevention Toolkit for more ideas and opportunities on how you can take action in your family and community. The URL is bit.ly/ffxprevkit. For more information, visit the Fairfax County Youth Survey Frequently Asked Questions page at fairfaxcounty.gov/data/Youth Survey Frequently Asked Questions. For data-related questions, email dmbdataanalytics@fairfaxcounty.gov. For questions regarding intervention and prevention services in Fairfax County Public Schools, email oc@fcps.edu. Thank you for your interest in the Fairfax County Youth Survey.